Welcome to Chemistry Tutorial 360. Today we are going to learn how to balance any chemical equations in just 4 steps, right? Okay, there are some rules to balance the chemical equations, but I am not going to tell you the rules. I am going to help your brain to memorize the rules. So, if you practice these 3 examples, then all the rules of balancing chemical equation automatically go to your memory and you will be able to remember that. Okay, so I will balance this equation first, and then this. Okay, I will balance every equation with rules in just 4 steps. So let's get started. To balance the first reaction, what will I do? I will delete the second and third example. Okay, so to balance this equation, I have to, in the first step, I have to draw a table, right? So I have to draw a table like this. If I draw a table, then I'm getting 2 parts. This part is left hand side or reactant side, and this is product side to right hand side. And in the second step, I have to calculate the atom. So here we have just one lead, right? So I have to write here, and then I have to write here. We have here NO3 2, that is 2 nitrate, NO3, which is 2, and here we have 1 copper. So let me write here 1 copper, and here we have 1 sulfate polyatomic ion. Okay, SO4, that is 1, right? And now we have to go to the right hand side. So here we have 1 lead, so I have to write here 1 lead, because here we have lead, and here we have 1 sulfate, so I have to write here 1 sulfate here, right? And here we have 1 copper, so I have to write here. And here we have 2 nitrate, so I have to write here. Okay, in the third step, I have to compare the number of atoms or polyatomic ion. So here we have 1 lead, so lead is balanced. Here we have 2 nitrate, so nitrate is balanced. And here we have 1 copper, so copper is balanced. Here we have 1 sulfate, so sulfate is balanced. So everything is balanced. So you can say that this is the balanced reaction, right? In the fourth step, you have to change this sign with equal sign, right? So let me change this sign with equal sign. So you have to write here equal sign. I think you have learned the rules to balance any chemical equations. So I am going to balance the second example that I shown you before. So let me erase it at first. Okay, our second example is P4O10, right, plus water. That gives us phosphoric acid, H3PO4, right? Okay, to balance this reaction, what will I do? In the first step, I have to draw a table like this. Then I will get 2 sides. One is reactant side and another is product side. In the reactant side, we have here 4 phosphorus, and here we have 10 oxygen, right? 10 oxygen, plus here we have 1 oxygen, and that gives us totally 11 oxygen. Many people forget to add this oxygen with that, and here we have 2 hydrogen. In the right hand side, we have here 3 hydrogen. So let me write that 3 hydrogen, and here we have 1 phosphorus, 1 phosphorus, and here we have 4 oxygen, right? PU4, that is 4 oxygen. 4 oxygen. Okay. In the third step, we have to balance the number of atoms from both sides, right? So here we have phosphorus 4, but here we have 1, but here oxygen 11, oxygen 4, and here we have 2 hydrogen, 3 hydrogen. So I can start with phosphorus because it will be easy, because phosphorus contains only in one compound, right? But okay, but oxygen, if you start with oxygen, then oxygen contains in two compounds, and it will cause problems. So always target the always target the atom that contain in one compound, right? So let me start with phosphorus. So here we have 4, but here we have 1. So from your common sense, what can I do? I can multiply here by 4, that gives me 4, right? And remember, this 4 must come before this phosphorus, that is here, right? So we can change just coefficient, not subscript. So if you place here 4, the number of hydrogen and oxygen will be updated or will be changed. So you are getting here 4 times 3, that is 12 hydrogen. So you have to write here 12 hydrogen, right? So I am writing here 12 hydrogen, and here you have 4 phosphorus, and here you have 4 times 4, that is 16 oxygen. So you can write here 16 oxygen. Okay. Now your phosphorus is balanced, but your oxygen 11 and 16, oxygen is not balanced, and your hydrogen 2 and here 12. So hydrogen contains in one compound, so you can target hydrogen. So to balance the hydrogen, what can I do? Here you have 12, but here you have 2. To make it 12, I can multiply here by 6, that gives me 12. Remember, this 6 must come before this hydrogen. That is, I have to search for hydrogen here. So I have to place here 6, right? 6. If I place here 6, the number of oxygen will be updated or changed. So I am getting here 6 oxygen. And already I have here 10 oxygen. So I have to change here 10 oxygen plus here we have 6 oxygen. So let me change. Okay. So totally I am getting 10 plus 6, that is 16. So I have to write here that. Okay. Let me write. So 16 oxygen, right? So now your oxygen 16, 16, so this is balanced. Your phosphorus 4, 4, phosphorus is balanced. Your hydrogen 12, 12, so hydrogen is balanced. So you can say that this is the balanced reaction. In the fourth step, you have to change this sign with equal sign, right? And I told you this. Okay, you have to place here equal sign, right? Okay, let me show you the third example. I think the third example will be very helpful to memorize all the rules together, right? So just watch this video. I think this is methane, and this is chlorine, this is carbon tetrachloride plus HCl, right? Okay, in the first step, to balance this equation, to balance this reaction, I have to draw a table. Okay, in the second step, I have to write the number of atoms from both sides. So here you have 1 carbon, and here you have 4 hydrogen, right? 4 hydrogen, and here you have 2 chlorine, so you have to write chlorine, 2 chlorine. On the right hand side, here you have one carbon, and here you have four chlorine, and here you have one hydrogen, and here you have one more chlorine. So 4 plus 1, that gives you 5 chlorine, right? So you can target here carbon 1 so carbon is already balanced. Here hydrogen 4, but here 1, so you can target hydrogen. Okay, so to balance the hydrogen, what can I do? I can multiply here by 4, that gives me 4, right? So these 4 must come before this hydrogen. So here, so I have to place here 4. If I place here 4, then the number of chlorine will be changed. So I have to update my chlorine. Okay, so here I am getting here 4 chlorine, and here I am getting also 4 chlorine. So I have to write the number of chlorine here. So I have to write that 4 plus 4, that is I am getting here 8 chlorine, right? So let me write that 8 chlorine. Okay, so our here carbon 1 hydrogen 4, but here our chlorine is 2, but here our chlorine is 8, so chlorine is not balanced here. So to balance the chlorine, what can I do? I can multiply here by 4, right? That gives me 8, and this 4 must come before this chlorine, that is here, so I have to place here 4, right? So you see that here we have 8 chlorine, 4 hydrogen, 1 carbon. So this is the balanced equation. In the fourth step, you have to change this sign with equal sign. So let me write that. So this is the balanced equation. I think I have explained all the rules in a easy way. If you practice this 3 example 2 times more, then all the rules will automatically come to your brain, and you will feel confident, right? So thanks for viewing this video. Be well.